How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to demonstrate how to chain up a tire. The first thing before you start to chain up is make sure you're in a safe location away from traffic and that you have safety gloves on. The next thing would be to locate your chains. I would say the majority of the time here, the chains are located in one of two places. One, on the newer tractors in the chain box, similar to the same location rather where your triangles would be and your other safety equipment. And if you have a older model tractor, most of the time you can find them dangling on the side, or fixed rather, on the side of the tractor. So the chains will be in one of those two places, and it's recommended that before you do your pre-trip in the winter time, even if snow is not forecasted, to do your pre-trip and make sure you have your chains and your tightening crank with you before you leave the yard. So after getting your gloves on and after finding out where your chains are, we can start to chain up. Follow me. So what you want to do is you want to take your chain and you want to lay it out nice and straight next to the tire that we're going to be chaining up. There's two things you want to look out for. On the outer end of the tire, you want to make sure that you have the end that has the two hooks laid out in the rear of the tire. And when you lay out your chain, the other thing you want to look out for is these half moons, which are for tightening purposes. You want to make sure that those are laid out facing toward the tire, and I'll show you guys when I wrap the chain around the tire why. It's because we want these half moons exposed on the outside, so when it comes time to tighten the chain, we can do it easily. And lastly, before you continue, you're going to want to make sure, and again, you could make sure of this through a thorough pre-trip, that you have your tightening mechanism. Most of the time it'll be in the form of a T-shaped torque tightener, or sometimes it'll be shaped like this, a right angle tightener. So you want to make sure you have that, because without this, you won't be able to tighten your chains. So now that we're set up and we have the chain laid out in front of the tire that we're going to be chaining up, you'll approach the tire like this with two hands. You'll grab the outer side of the chain and simply flip it over, wrap it around the tire that you're looking to chain up. And basically, you'll have a little extra on each end, and what you want to do is you want to make sure, and you can come and get a clear shot of it, you'll want to make sure the chain is draped over the tire evenly on each side, and the extra chain that you have, you're going to want to push under the tire, because when we roll over it, we're going to want the tire to roll over it and ultimately be able to link up this side with the other side when we pull forward a few feet. Alright guys, so now I basically pulled forward about 2 to 2.5 feet to where I could connect both sides of the chain together, and I've taken off the mud flat. You can come a little closer. I'll start over again.
No, you're fine. You're all in frame and everything. You're good.
All right, thanks. Oh, yeah, I just want to make sure they hear me. Thanks, dude. All right, guys, so I pulled forward about 2 to 2.5 feet to where I could connect both sides of the chain, and I went ahead and I took off the mud flat so I could have more room to work. Now what you're going to want to do is you're just going to make a loose connection. You don't have to go for super tight right off the bat, but you want to make a loose connection on each side. Like this, hook it once over here and then take the other side, and just, you don't have to go crazy, but you just want to hook it again on the other side. So now that it's all attached on each side, you're going to want to make your way over to the front of the tire and try to pull as much slack from the front all the way to the back. There's not much. Again, there's not much slack. This is a pretty tight chain, but I'll try to get another loop if I can. No way. wasn't meant to be. All right, so we got it as tight as we can. We get our tightening key. We go around all the half moves, which are on the outside of the tire. And we turn each one to the tightening position. I believe there's usually 4, but obviously tighten however many are here.
Got that nice POV shot? Don't tell me the sun was bad.
All right, there we go. So now you just want to yank the chain around the wheel. It feels pretty tight. Final step.
Time out, time out, time out. Low battery warning, time out.
Oh, okay.
And we're back.
All right. So now we felt around. It feels pretty tight. There's no slack. Final step is to get in the cab, drive approximately a quarter mile down the road or down the parking lot, wherever you're at. Get back out and see if you can tighten it another notch or 2 on the chain. If you can, you know, sometimes driving down the road, it'll give you a little more slack to tighten the chain a little bit more. Other times it'll just stay tight. If that's the case, you're good to go. And obviously put your mud flap on the back before you rock and roll. That's basically it. Be safe out there. Thanks.